really comfortable, a co-founder, then, and that got us actually to the first sweater season. So September through May, we used our own funds to do that. It was only once we started to get interest from retailers and from international distributors that we said to ourselves, perhaps we should look for external funding. Now, never mind the fact that once we graduate from graduate school, we're going to have loans and bills and families to provide for, and we should probably try to cover a salary. So that was the catalyst to looking for capital, and we looked at it in all the most traditional places with angel investors, with accelerators, with families and friends, and with a couple of VC firms in the DC and Boston area.
So I like the way that you were getting interest from retailers and wholesalers and things like that, because that probably made your pitch a lot more appealing. How did, I guess, your experience with pitching venture capital firms and angel investors, how'd that help you when you got onto ABC's Shark Tank?
Tremendously. By the time we went on Shark Tank, we had already done close to 50 pitches in front of VCs, angels, professors, friends who were going into private equity and venture capital. And more importantly, we had basically finished up our entire degree. So I literally had a diploma on the wall by the time I was filming at Shark Tank. So you felt as though you had the academic credentials behind you, but also a great deal of practice. Now, Shark Tank is a completely different animal, literally. The pressure of being on national television, the pressure of being in front of billionaires and multimillionaires, the pressure of knowing that you have anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours to make an impression about your product or your service, and they're going to judge you either very harshly or at least very critically about what you're doing.
So you mean you went on the carpet for only that 12 minutes that they showed on the TV show?
Oh, no. Nate and I were on that carpet for about 2 hours. So,
do you at least get a bathroom break or something? I don't know.
No. The thought is that they don't want you to be able to go and look at notes or to confer with one another. It's really supposed to be you in the pressure cooker. What do you do in a moment of intensity to really sell your product and to sell yourself?
So you've made the pitch. You've made 50 pitches before you got to Shark Tank. You're standing on the carpet for 2 hours. Can you talk to us about not necessarily, what was going through what was going through your mind? What's the mentality and mindset that you had to have in order to really repel all the different things that they would ask about your business and make sure you knew your numbers? What's the mentality you had to prepare for?
It's a great question. I will tell you that the best thing, that the mentality that served me best was, frankly, being exceptionally confident that I had a product that truly was worthwhile, that I myself was a person of integrity, and that our business, although not perfect to everyone, had a lot of strong qualities to it. So it's a sense of confidence going in. And I will tell you, the first 5 minutes, you feel buffeted left and right. They're asking you question after question. They're overlapping. There's a sense of impatience because their time is valuable and they want to find out as much as possible about you and the product as quickly as possible. And I recall thinking, I'm going to flounder here if I don't get my bearings, because I can't answer every question, and I certainly can't answer overlapping questions. And so I told this to many people beforehand, and I'll just repeat it here, that I literally just stopped for a moment and thought to myself, well, if Mark, Kevin, and Damon ask a question at the same time, then why don't I listen for the questions, like truly breathe and listen, and pick the question that I feel most prepared to knock out the ballpark. Instead of trying to parse out who deserves to be answered first, answer the one I want. So there was a moment in which that literally happened where 3 or 4 people asked the same question, and I happened to hear Kevin's question come out in a way that I thought we had prepared it well and it was going to make us look great. So I answered it, and he loved my answer. And to my surprise, there's a momentary freak out session where you're thinking they're Damon and Mark, and I say, hey, you didn't answer my question. Instead, because my answer was so good to Kevin, they dropped their initial question and asked a follow-up to that one. So it created this wonderful domino effect where basically every question flowed from answers that I really had thought through how I wanted to answer it, and I thought we were going to represent us very well. And so it just continuously made us look better.
So you took control. Even though you weren't asking the questions, you took control in your mind and you said, hey, this is what we want to say about our business. and here it is. Here's the answer that I want to give you.
Exactly.
Okay. That's probably a good tip for anybody anywhere that's pitching, right?
I mean, well, it's great advice. It's hard to take. And I want to say, had Nate and I not practiced 15, 20 hours a week for almost 2 months on those questions, pausing and playing different Shark Tank segments and making ourselves answer questions, what are you doing? If you're not prepared, if you don't know your business, if you're trying to be a fake person, I can't tell you how many people, said that they were going to try to be a persona on Shark Tank. And Nate and I said no. Under pressure, particularly under pressure for an hour or 2 hours, you eventually revert to yourself. You might as well practice being yourself.
Desiree, I've got to tell you, you are a very wise woman, okay? You've probably dropped 5 or 6 golden nuggets in this few minutes that we've been talking. And just in case you're just tuning in, we're talking to Desiree Stoller, co-founder of Unshrink It. You've seen him on Shark Tank. You've seen him in other national television shows. Desiree, why don't you tell the listeners how to get a hold of you?
You can reach me at hi@unshrinkit.com, or you can go straight to our website, unshrinkit.com, and fill out the information on the contact page.
Awesome. Desiree Stoller, co-founder of Unshrink It. Thanks for taking your time out on Radio for Small Business.
You're welcome.
Connect, capitalize, go.
Hi, I'm Eugene Rowe, host of the podcast For Business. On behalf of our team, I'd like to say thanks. Every month, we're able to impact thousands of lives all over the globe with relevant, impactful, and insightful guests. Some of them have even been featured on national television shows like ABC's Shark Tank and CNBC's The Profit. Our mission is simple: to journey with you on your road to achievement. To do that, I'd like to invite you to partner with us in our Share All promise. I promise to continually share for free without commercial interruption and unnecessary subscriptions. And I ask that you promise to share us with your friends. Here's something you like? Simply use the social share buttons at the bottom of the page to tell your network about the podcast For Business. It's simple, easy, and only takes 5 seconds. That's it, partner. You've made the Share All promise.
All new Radio for Small Business. Put your mouth where your money is. Radio for Small Business with HomeBiz.
It's Radio for Small Business, HomeBiz.com. Your host, Eugene Rowe. My next guest has luggage that folds. I'm about to get on a plane literally right now, and we need to talk to Mr. Stephen Hirsch of Biagi. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So can you tell us a little bit of luggage that folds? Okay, that's something interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and your products?
Yeah, so Biagi makes innovative travel products, not only luggage that folds, but other products that make travelers' lives simpler. But our core product, like you mentioned, is foldable luggage because, as you know, luggage takes up a lot of space in your home, and this is an issue that nobody really has dealt with before we came along. Basically, we make durable, lightweight luggage that you could fold up and store easily in a drawer, on a shelf, under a bed, things like that.
And that makes sense. I literally have a whole corner full of luggage, and you can't fold it, you can't throw it under anything, and I've got a whole corner of one of my offices full with just empty luggage sacks. So that's a great idea. So
thank you.
What part of the world are you in, by the way?
I live in New York.
I know that eventually your business was able to get to the point where you were able to kind of start with raising capital and things like that, because I know some people have seen you on ABC's Shark Tank. Can you tell us about the journey to raising capital? Not necessarily the show, but the journey that you took to starting to raise capital.
So my company is pretty much self-funded by me and my partners. We don't borrow. That's really not our business model. We invest in our own business. We sell inventory. Once in a while, we'll borrow against purchase orders. If we get a big order from somebody, we might use a factor. I don't know if you know what a factor is. I'm assuming you do.
Yes, I do, yeah.
I guess your listeners don't know what a factor is. Basically, you get an order from a company, like let's say I do business with QVC, for example. They'll write me an order, and in order for me to be able to pay my factory before I get paid by them, I'll borrow against that purchase order.
So, and that's interesting. Most people think you get an order from, say,
if you don't know your numbers,
I wouldn't knock somebody borrowing money. Most companies do it. I've done it with previous business as well, but ultimately we changed our business model and we operate, a very, very, very lean we reinvest basically, everything that we make, we reinvest into inventory, and ultimately it catches up, in a positive way. I mean, that's just the way we like to do it. Again, there's so many different business models that you could use.
And you're able to sleep better at night, I'm guessing.
Exactly.
We're talking to Stephen Hirsch, owner of Biagi, on Radio for Small Business. Check it out on homeofbiz.com. Connect, capitalize, go. Stephen, we've already talked about the mindset of raising capital. We've even talked about what factors are when getting orders and things like that. Let's go back into, the raising capital, more of the mindset when you ended up on ABC's Shark Tank. What's going through your head, and what are you trying to get across to the Sharks in order to cash that check?
My strategy with getting on the show, for getting on the show, not just for getting on the show, for having success on the show and trying to score a deal with one of the Sharks, was basically to get a strategic partner. So I mentioned that we don't like to borrow money. The best alternative to that is to have a partner who not only can help you with the money, but can also add more to the business. Instead of just borrowing somebody, it could be somebody that helps you grow. Like a bank will lend you money, and then and obviously that helps you for sure if you're going down that route 100%. Every business needs capital in order to operate, but the next level is to really, I work with Lori Grenier, so not only does she invest in the company, but she also bought me some of my largest customers.
Wow.
No bank's going to do that for you.
And a lot of people don't think about that, right? So not only did she get a piece of the company, but it's like you said, now she's motivated to go get more business for you. I know she's got the QVC stuff. She's got the Bed Bath & Beyond stuff. Can you talk more about the value of being able to have that value-add partner when it comes to bringing customers in the door?
I mean, first of all, in my case, I happen to have a celebrity partner. That helps me whenever I meet with retailers or other customers that I'm trying to sell to. Obviously, I could name drop, I guess, and that definitely helps because it gives credibility to what I do, that somebody like that is, interested enough in my business to invest and to be on board and help me sell, So the strategic partner doesn't have to be that, though. It doesn't have to be, a shark from Shark Tank. I mean, not that many people are get that opportunity. It could be anybody. It could be fulfillment, somebody who does your fulfillment or helps you with fulfillment. It could be different kind of a partner who can help you grow your business in some way, shape, or form. And everybody's got to bring something to the table.
That makes sense. We're talking to Stephen Hirsch with Biagi right here on Radio for Small Business at homeofbiz.com. He's already talked to us about raising capital, being on the Shark Tank, even borrowing, not having a business plan of borrowing, and then being able to factor as well. Stephen, with you guys' line of products, where are you seeing that the most people are liking it or loving it? What kind of feedback are you getting?
We get great feedback. I mean, I have a very niche product. It's, luggage is a very broad category. It's not, people don't travel necessarily that often, and there's so many different kinds of products in the category, and we sell a very specialized product. So our customers are very loyal customers. These are people who really do, feel that we solve a problem for them, and we get a lot of repeat business, which is obviously the ultimate feedback and positive feedback that you could get.
They're definitely loving it.